Hey, what's going on, guys? Hope you guys had a good weekend. Wanted to get myself back on the battlefield a little bit, playing some Lupkow Pass today. We had a lot of CTE and testing videos from last week, so definitely wanted to get back on the battlefield and just get into the groove again. The weird part is, like, already, I tell you what, like, getting back in the game today was just the movement-wise, man. I felt so good moving. If people don't know, last week we did some testing, and with the new maps that were coming out in Turning Tides, they did some testing with some new movement. And from overall, I'm sure there's some people who probably kind of like the movement, probably. But there was a lot of feedback that people felt sluggish. I was one of them. I felt really sluggish. So that, of course, we'll see what happens up here in the future, what they're going to do with testing that. I heard some of the devs talk about that they heard us and that they they're definitely going to try tweaking it and fixing it and everything like that. That's the whole point, kind of testing environment. So I'm just glad right now, at least that's not in the game itself. Because today I felt great. I was moving really good. And normally when I play Battlefield, I always kind of feel like I'm just, I don't know. I lean on the fact that I feel like we should move maybe, I don't know. I'm not sure if it's the movement speed, at least for console speeds, but maybe sometimes there's some vaulting issues as well that cause some problems. If you try to vault over an object, you seem to get stuck on that object and you can't go over it. So maybe some more environmental things need to be maybe smoothed out a little bit better, but just generally speaking, the movement on the game, I normally lean on that. I feel like it could be, you know, maybe a little bit faster, I could say. I'm not sure if you need to move faster necessarily, have to make that faster, but just in general, it sometimes doesn't feel as smooth. So when they made it slower, I was like, oh my gosh. But now that I'm back on it and playing the retail version of the game, I felt really good today. I felt really smooth. And yeah, it felt really nice. It took me a little bit while to get back adjusted to back to kind of that normal feeling where I always kind of feel like there could be some improvements that I felt like they went the opposite direction on. But again, let's remember it was a CT, and that's what they were kind of looking for. So I'm over here by D. I was a little concerned here right when the game started. As you saw me push it up to C, they were already basically capped everything already. You know, a lot of players, you know, they'll jump in their pilot C and they'll use cavalry classes to push up. And I obviously did neither, and that kind of cost me a little bit. But fortunately, I have a pretty good solid weapon. I swapped back over to my shotgun, and I want to try to hold it off over here. Get one of the places over here, C or D, so we can hold it down a little bit. But since they did some of the cavalry nerf, the cavalry class is a nerf now. So they're as far as I'm concerned, this is sick right here. I don't know what it is lately. I'm enjoying so much bayonet charging people around turns. Yeah, I don't know what it is with that, but lately I've just been having so much fun just like throwing smoke down and trying to bayonet charge people through it. But like I was saying, there's been a nerf with the cavalry class, so I think pretty sure when you get off your horse, the armor on the cavalry class is as normal armor as anyone else. So me being the player who likes playing off the horse a lot doesn't really benefit me much. So I've been just sticking with the assault class, and then kind of playing around a little bit with the fedora for the medic class. So that's probably a new class I'll be trying out. I'll keep trying to develop my skill on a little bit more. But right now, I swapped to the shotgun class just because I was like, okay, they pushed with their horses and their pilots, and because of that, now they're already got all of their bunch of the territories capped. But fortunately, we were able to get those top two in the middle. Got picked up from a sniper right there, but I'm gonna, typical me, I'm gonna flank, come back and flank him from behind. If I have a good spot, I'm gonna go right at him. So that's just what I'm trying to do. I want to grab E. As much as they have B right now, good thing my teammates are grabbing that. But as much as they have B, I want to slow them down over here by E, as there's just a bunch of snipers right here. Another one right over here to my right. So that's a good time to pull out your pickaxe. I just never know. I don't want to get take too much time trying to pickaxe someone and animate them with my melee instead of I can just quickly shoot them with my shotgun. So that's usually the route I always take when I see a bunch of them there. Yeah, I want to kind of hold them off over here as much as I can, because I know if I can hold on E and F, this is where they're at, keep them from moving up where the mountain's at. A lot of times you see on Lupkow Pass, a lot of people have been getting stuck. You can get stuck pretty easily. If you don't have A, or you don't have C or D. So that's what I kind of noticed lately, and it's just kind of nice in general. Just kind of this was weird right here. This was a little bit weird right here. I threw threw some dynamite and I shot him twice. I was like, what is going on? I was just confused, and I realized, oh, it's a... This I've seen this a lot lately. I've seen a lot of... I'm about to get bayonet charge right here. I've seen a lot lately where they've been... people have been using their elite classes in, like, the turrets, and I've been seeing them on some of the, like, the large guns that are on Albion. But yeah, I've been seeing that a lot happen a lot lately. So, what I was trying to say was lately it's been nice because I haven't been doing very well on this map. So this was a good gameplay that I had on this map, really, even though I get sniped again from the side, which I kind of knew they would be up there. But it's just nice, kind of. This was a little bit of a grind. If you've watched any of my videos previously when Lupkow Pass first came out, man, I was having such a grind playing this map. And I was like, oh man, we got a whole month of this map. And what happens when a new map comes up for a monthly update, I'll just play that map over and over and over again. This is what I do. So I was almost like, oh my gosh, I was like, I don't know how long I can last doing this. It's nice now having it just kind of in the mix with all the other, you know, all the other 5 other maps that came with the name of the Czar game. So, so it is nice to kind of have that rotation of 6 around, as I've got a cavalry class on me, and it's nice now having a little bit of the nerf on it, so at least when I go against them, they're much easier to kill if they get off their horse. Again, more scout classes shoot at me, but lately I've gotten more of an understanding of kind of where the scouts, like all the like hiding spots up there. It took me a game. I played a game last week where some people were hiding. They were just hiding around over there. We were controlling the game again, kind of what we're doing now. We brought it back very well. That kind of scared me because I was almost convinced we were in trouble here because of how we started off there. And I'm gonna try it again. I'm gonna try. So close, but yeah, I'll just see if I can do it there. I'm having a blast right now doing this. So look at this. I'm just controlling it right over here, even though I got the scout classes over to the left of me. But I had a game where we were controlling it again, but the scouts, there's a lot of areas up over there, and I, you know, I just haven't played enough over there on the other side. As I'm gonna bayonet charge this flame trooper, man. I'm just destroying right now. I've got the sentry, the flame trooper. I've taken out some cavalry classes. I just gotta watch out for the snipers, because that's what's kind of been the concern lately. The snipers are in these kind of areas here, and I played a game last week, which was I'm trying to say. I played a game last week where they were just in certain spots that I just couldn't figure out. Because again, I don't play enough around this area as a scout class. And now that after that kind of that trial and error that I had, where I was just hunting scout classes that whole game, I've gotten an understanding now more where their spots are at. So it's definitely nice because now I kind of get more of an understanding of not having myself getting picked off from the sides. Even though I got sniped there earlier after I took that sentry class out, I knew he was up there, and I knew that the building I was in was open. So I understand that. Like, I know I'm fine with getting, you know, sniped when I know that I'm not in a good spot. I'm out in there. I'm out in the open. I deserve to die. Even though a lot of times that does not happen, where I'm shooting at people, or someone's like, I'm out in the open and someone's trying to shoot at me, like a scout class, he doesn't kill me, and I'm like, wow, I'm getting away with so much here. This is kind of how it is for me, at least. I feel like more than half the time I'm out in the open, the scout classes have a hard time shooting me, which they shouldn't. They should be able to take me out, but that's just, you know, kind of the learning curve and the popularity of the scout class. But it's just nice now being able to, you know, now know that there's certain spots I could be out in the open here, as right here. This is another awesome play right here. I throw some dynamite. He fortunately puts to the right there. I get 85 on him, and I drop down, and I just... It's moments like that I'm just loving the game, man. It feels good. It feels good to be back on the battlefield. But like I was saying, it's just fun being out and just having a better understanding of knowing like what spots, angles I should be taking out on this map here, because it took me a little bit while to get this. It's a pretty large map. It doesn't feel as large as like a Sinai, but maybe that, I don't know. I mean, I wish I kind of knew the actual like the measurements of these maps so I could understand like what the actual sizes of them are, like which one's the largest, by however they measure that. But yeah, it doesn't feel like it is. But then again, Sinai kind of has just that one capture point by G, and you have all that open space that kind of no one plays in, and then you have all the other places across the other side of the map. So, you know, a map like this is more spread out, could feel kind of smaller, but might not be that, might not be the case. So but yeah, I'm just gonna stick out over here, just Cat B, even though we're gonna be fine right here. We've held them all the way from moving up anymore, which is good. And now we're gonna come up here and push over to F and G, which is good because I've been wanting to get more of an understanding of just all the areas and where the scout classes are sniping over there by F, because it feels like a lot. I don't know. It's kind of interesting too. I haven't seen it as much where you see like the enemy players are where you're holding them down A and B. I forget more games where we're able to hold the enemy team to F and G than it is holding enemy players to A and B. So it's kind of interesting how that is. I don't know what that is all about, but it kind of feels like I haven't had too many games as that. Maybe because I'm not having as many games where I'm playing on that side. But yeah, it definitely feels like holding people. It's easier to kind of hold people down over here just because probably that hill moving upwards is a little bit, can be a little bit of pain. And when you're over there on the other side, you could easily push over there to the B. Even though I've noticed now the push that people have to try to make it cross over here, because what they try to do is they try to push themselves all the way around. You'll see it up here in a little bit what I'm talking about, where they try to push all the way around towards the C. I've noticed this before, kind of the very beginning games, what some players will do. But now I even notice even more now how much of an open space it is over there by G. So you'll see coming up here in a little bit what I mean. There's just so much, maybe people who are already kind of playing that general area, maybe more scout classes kind of understand that, but for me as an assault class, it's just everything's more like B and C, like I go, or not B and C, C and D, like instantly, as this guy like puts a shot on me right there, and I'm able to shoot him. Then I try to bayonet charge, but he sees me just in time. I told you, I've been just doing it so much lately, so, but yeah, like I was saying, playing assault classes, you know, if I'm trying to want to, you know, if I feel like I need to really hold something down, I normally want to hold down D and C, and so like playing all these like kind of obscured angles, like over here by F, up on the turn, up to the right. I'm gonna throw some smoke down here because I want to have a clear path up over here. But you know, I'm not normally away from that area as of lately playing Lupkow Pass, just because I had, like I said before previously, I've had such a grind playing this map. So so yeah, this is more the passageway over here. I mean, I've known this passageway at this perfect flare just bounces off on the wall and hits me in the head. He's right there on the there's just so much of this right there, and I played a game already where it was like this. I'm beginning to realize how much they like staying over here. I mean, normally I've seen it before, you know, but it's never been kind of like a nuisance for me. But one game it was, and I was like, okay, I really got to understand what's going on over here. As I get shot again from the side, which I was expecting. I figured it was going to end up happening, but I know that passageway is right there to the right. It's just way moved up, way up more up when you go towards G. How much room there is over there. So if like you're in a position like this where the enemy team has you, you can easily, I can see why you push all the way down, and at least can get your stuff out from G. Because I've noticed that a lot. It seems like trying to hold it all the way down and capping it towards G is kind of difficult because people can easily just push out over there to my right up where they're at right there. And they just keep pushing. There's some slant in the hill where there's going to be a situation up here where one of the players, obviously I'm going to be more relentless. I'm going to make sure I kill the guys right here. Because I know this is one spot people like this shootout right here. They just whip by this rock right here. But there's a one spot right over here where you would see like I see a scout at the corner of my eye. And he's just able to move right down the hill that kind of slants a little bit. And so there's like enough cover if you're like everyone who's playing on the left side over there trying to push up the G. No one's going to see that player as I get in their situation right here where I just get away from. I can hear the guy right here. He's just moving just out of my view, and I'm able to just get it just enough around a turn and then bait him around. Which yeah, definitely not. It's one thing you never want to do. Watch a shotgun class go behind a wall. Never push it. You might as well not. You might as well just wait for him, move back, and get away. Because unless he does something, misses completely, he's in pretty good shape. So yeah, it's right up there to the front of me. That's where I'm talking about. So it's kind of interesting because that's where they're all kind of spawning at, or not. That's kind of spawning. Yeah, I think they should be spawning right around there if we're pushing on towards G. So it is kind of interesting, but it's just kind of nice again, kind of playing the map out and just kind of having not much of a just a complete, like, I don't know, where my gameplay is just so poor that I can't even like really get a sense of how the map is working and how the map plays out and all the little things. So it was nice to kind of play Lupkow Pass today and kind of feel a little more of a smoother gameplay, which normally, like I said, is normally a grind. I was a little bit nervous there when the game first started. I was like, uh-oh, it's gonna be that, because right when the game started, it was definitely not looking that way up over here. So I see a scout class right over the corner of my eye right here. This isn't a situation I'm talking about. Where I see the scout class at the corner of my eye, but I see it coming up here in a second. It should be coming up right over here. Yeah, so definitely interesting. Looking forward to what will be coming out probably tomorrow. We got some stuff coming out for the CTE tomorrow. I'm not sure exactly what they're coming out with. I can imagine. I probably would assume. I think right now is when I see it. Right there, I turned my eye. I saw someone. I was like, I see someone, but I can't see him anymore. And there he is. So it's just like, there we go, right? It's weird because there's enough of the edge where they can drop down, heal. And once they push up over, they're fine. They've got themselves covered. It's an easy way back over to F. Getting up to C is a little bit more complicated, I think, as I know now that they have F, they're going to squad spawn all around here. So I kind of hold back here for a second because I knew they're going to squad spawn, or not squad spawn. The F spawn is right over here for them. So, but yeah. Like I was saying, though, we got some stuff coming out for the CTE tomorrow, so we'll see what's up with that. I can't imagine there will probably be things about the new movement. I wouldn't be surprised if we do some more stuff on that. I know, like they said, they tweaked some of it. Not just tweaked it, I think they probably did more than just that. So I'm still a little concerned about it. That's kind of my viewpoint on it. I know there's been a lot of talk with the ADA. ADAD span that was going on, but that's more, I've never saw that in console. That's more for PC. I kind of wish it would separate up a little bit, because I mean, I was listening to someone talk about how they were saying that, you know, there's so much muscle memory involved, and I feel the exact same way too. Like, even though I feel like the movement of this game, for me at least, I think it's I would give it a little bit subpar for me. My experience on the movement wise of the game, I think it could be a little bit better. The path that they're taking, I think a little bit for me makes it worse. And having that changing, it's going to change all the muscle movement, everything like that. I feel like unless the movement is going to be such a great improvement, I wouldn't change it, touch it at all. So fortunately, no matter what, it seems like it's going to be changed for sure. Again, I kind of wish it would just kind of change just for the ADA spam. I've never seen crouch sliding being such an issue, but we'll see what's coming up here in the CTE. What ends up being the what ends up happening up here when we have this test. So I can imagine it's going to be, because I'm not sure how much turning tide stuff there's going to be out here for maybe a little bit more. If they're going to do any more turning tides, because it seems like from what they said in the some things that they talked about on Reddit, they talked about that it seems like these are going to go back to the more of the other maps. So we won't be seeing probably any turning tide maps coming out here, at least for next week, or this week coming up. So we'll see again what happens there. It's I know there's a guy. I knew there's guys that were somewhere in here, and then of course it's always happening, right? You're trying to find that one guy, gets the squad spawn on him. Which happened to me a couple of times today. It took me a little bit of a while to kind of remember that. The nice thing about some updates coming to CT is with the CT, they are stopping the ability to spawn on dead teammates. Surprisingly, it seems like the way they word it is for people who are like dying when they spawn on dead teammates. I don't have that issue. I have that rarely happen to me. I love spawning on my dead teammates, because what ends up happening is I end up seeing the enemy player before they see me, and I have a good jump on him right when I spawn in with like my shotgun or something like that. And if it's close range, I'm able to usually just take everyone out right there. So I rarely have that problem. What my problem is, I'm killing a bunch of players, and then I'll turn my back after I kill one player, and right when I'm turning my back on him, his teammate spawns on him and shoots me in the back. So I get that happening to me more than the other way around. So hey, regardless, it seems like this new way of them doing it's gonna be fine. I'm not really bothered by it at all. What ends up happening is you squad spawn your teammate, and your teammate dies, and it sends you right back into the into the spawn screen. So I'm not really bothered. That doesn't seem to bother really me at all how that works out. So I think definitely that's an improvement for sure. So wish they would more focus on just the vaulting issues when it comes to movement, and kind of leave everything else alone for at least the console side at least. But yeah, again, we'll see what's coming up here in the future with that. So pulled out the Fedora, wanted to kind of finish up the gameplay now that I knew that we were going to be okay, and we pretty much had control of the game here. But like I said, I want to get a little bit more into the medic class, and probably get this class work just a little bit more. Like I've said countless times, I would have played medic class probably the majority of this game if it wasn't for right when vanilla of the retail game of the game first came out. The tanks were so strong, and I was like, wow, they could just do whatever they want to do. So I was like, okay, I need to do something about this. So I just went assault class. So it wasn't even so much for the shotgun. I would have rather used a rifle. Normally when I play all other type of games, I'll usually always use rifles, but the tanks were so strong, and there's not enough, like, if if there's a class that's pretty bad at it, it's the medic class. Like, it's like right next up to the scout class as being like the worst classes to take out tanks. So I was like, okay, well I gotta adapt to this. But it seems like that they're moving away from like tank gameplay. As you can see, so that's from this update named Azar. We have some tank play maps. Like we have maps where we just have the land ships on there, and you know, we can play a lot of artillery truck gameplay and the new armored car as well. That's in the map as well too. But you know, you don't see any light tanks or heavy tanks in the game, so it seems like there's a lot of, you know, constriction with it. And you know, it seems like we're moving more and more away from that. And with definitely some of the maps, I can't imagine there's going to be any tank play on the 2 maps we played on the CTE at all. Like, definitely not going to be on the 1 map, which is Akibaba. They made very clear, the devs said that they couldn't even put a motorcycle on the map. So there's going to be none on Akibaba. And then Cape Palace, as far as I'm concerned, I don't think there's going to be a tank on there as well either. So it's going to be pretty. It's going to probably feel more like an Albion type of gameplay there. So you know, we definitely know for a fact we got what's the other one called? We have another map. Another one's gonna be coming out that we haven't seen yet. I forgot what it is. What the name of it is? It's Halagos Keep or something like that. I totally forget the name about it. This one was just an island on it. We haven't seen anything about it yet, but there's the base of the whole gameplay is kind of the one that everyone's getting hyped about because it's gonna be mainly water, and there's a little island you play on. So that one's gonna be, again, majority of a naval battle. And as a matter of fact, I was looking a little bit on Flakfire. If anyone watches Flakfire, he's someone else who does some good insights on the battlefield, and he was talking about how he was reading the words again on the Dreadnought versus Dreadnought. He was reading the words again off the new information given us for Turning Tides, and realized it's the wording of it talks about dreadnoughts and uses plural. So we should be seeing Dreadnoughts versus Dreadnoughts coming up here, at least from the wording that they're using, as well as the concept art alludes to it as well too. So we only have like one other map then, which we'll see what that one's all about. That one. Again, it's the other map that's there too is gonna be a lot of water. I can't imagine that this. Yeah, like I said, it's gonna be a lot away from tanks. It's gonna be very different when we're coming up here and Turning Tide. So it seems like the day of the tank has been kind of, as far as I'm concerned, has been moving downward. We have one more coming out, Apocalypse, but we'll see how that turns out. But yeah, like the tank gameplay had its time, I guess. So it's kind of nice. I like playing tanks too, so I feel empathize with people who like, oh man, this kind of sucks. But it's kind of nice because I do like playing infantry as well too, so it makes me feel better because I can play some like other classes that I normally wouldn't get to, just because tanks are they control so much. Even though I can't shoot for anything right now with my weapon here, I've been having a little bit hard time like fumbling. I've been fumbling a lot with the Fedora, moving from the different fire modes on it, and sometimes I just flat out forget what fire mode I have on it. Sometimes I'll like think I have it on full auto, and I move over into I only have single shot on, and next thing you know, I tried to like engage someone close range, and I'm like holding down my trigger, and only one shot comes out. So a little bit of annoyance, but again, that's just part of it, how it works. It's fun having a little bit of the new learning curve and keeping it fresh. We got a whole another year come up here at Battlefield for me. I want to keep playing this game. Hopefully we're going to work out well with the servers. We'll see more conversation about that in the future, how that ends up turning out, making sure the servers stay populated, we can still get into games and everything like that. But definitely get more and more hype for the new stuff coming out. But yeah, that's basically it for you guys today. Appreciate you guys being here. I'm Livin', and I'll catch you guys again later. Peace.